this week. Welcome back, it's the Glory Days podcast. Today, me, Tom, and Shane. Welcome back, Shane, after missing out on the last one. Today, we're going to be talking about a legendary season, one that all three of us probably can count as one of the most iconic in recent times, and especially in our lifetimes, because we're all the same age. In the last couple of decades, this is one of the most iconic seasons, and we thought, what better way to celebrate it than to pick out our starting 11. So Shane missed the memo on this one and did his Premier League 2007-2008 team of the season and included the big six teams. So what we'll do is use his team as a benchmark for the standard to play that season, and mine and Tom's will be the actual teams. Mine and Tom's are basically a no top 6-11, which we're celebrating one of the most iconic seasons where we thought celebrate some of the best players that we've seen. Shane didn't get the memo, so he's done his best 11. Okay, so kicking things off, Shane's going to do his starting 11.
So yeah, basically I missed the memo, but obviously there's a couple players in there that I'm sure might come up later when we talk about the vibes players that outside the top six players. Yeah. So in goal, I've gone for Edwin van der Sar. I think outstanding season there. You know, top quality keeper. Not much more needs to be said. To be fair, I think he's the best Premier League goalkeeper of all time. So yeah, but obviously that's going to raise its own little arguments. For right back, I've gone for Glenn Johnson, who is outside the top six. To be fair,
why are you pulling that face, Tom? Yeah, Pompey had a quality season.
Yeah, did Portsmouth finish outside of the top six or not?
I think they came seventh.
Yeah, they were something like that.
But obviously, yeah, they had a great season. Centre back pairing, I obviously wouldn't go for anybody other than Rio and Vidic because Rio and Vidic because I'm
beast, man.
I didn't get the memo. Simple as. Left back was Evra. I think he had an exceptional season. He was probably was better than Ashley Cole, better than Gael Clichy, etc. Inside the top six. So jumping into the midfield, I just went 4-4-2. And right mid was Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't know if there's...
Disgusting! The best player, literally, that was the season where he just peppered up the league.
Exactly, yeah. That's it. Like, he 31 goals in 31 games.
That fucking goal wasn't that goal against Portsmouth in that season?
It was the game. I had the choice of going to two matches that year. It was like Man United versus Portsmouth or Man United versus Birmingham. And we went to the Birmingham game. It was like 1-0. Rooney didn't play. Ronaldo only came on in the second half. And against the Portsmouth game, he scored that free kick and it was like a washout.
Disgusting. I literally, that season, I think is the only season where I would watch the game as a Chelsea fan and be so frightened of Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, that season was outrageous, and I would be so frightened playing Man United because you just never knew what the fuck he was going to do.
Central midfield, when with Gerrard and Fabregas. I think Gerrard had a pretty exceptional season that season, and Fabregas, that's
ridiculous.
I think I don't know. Obviously, Fabregas was good before. Well, I don't actually know, to be fair, but that was the first season I was like, Fabregas, world class. There was a lot of good attackers. All right, left mid. I went for David Bentley.
Yeah, cracking player, mate.
I don't even know.
David loves getting down the right and crossing it in, Shane. You need him on the right.
I thought he was a left mid as well.
Nah, he was. Everyone used to say he was the next Beckham just because they had the same initials, and he was very good at crossing.
Fair enough. Right. All I'm saying is I appreciated him as a sick player. Every goal was a banger.
Yeah.
Every single goal was a banger.
Okay.
And then my two strikers, I'll go for the more obvious one first. I put Torres in instead of like Tevez or Rooney. I put Torres in because Torres was mad. He came to Liverpool and smashed it in his first season. Like straight up just smashed it. Yeah, so that's Torres. And then Roque Santa Cruz as well.
What a fucking rocket he was.
He was mental. Simple as he was mental. And breaks into my 11 in the fucking top 6 included.
Yeah, that is mental to be fair.
He was nuts. Like just a little buzzard of just quality.
So in goal, I went for David James. Left back, I struggled so bad finding a left back. I couldn't think of anyone. And so I went for Phil Neville because I know he can play in different positions, and I thought I couldn't think of anyone else worthy of sticking at left back. So I stuck Phil Neville in because, you know, he's a Neville and he's alright. So my centre-back pairing, this again was so difficult thinking of people, but I went for Joleon Lescott because he was solid, and I'm pretty sure the season after he then got bought by City. I think that was his like penultimate season at Everton. And I struggled for another centre-back, but then I thought of Samba. Do you remember Samba?
Oh, Big Chris.
Christopher Samba, yeah.
Yeah, he was good until he moved to
Blackburn?
QPR.
Was it Blackburn?
Yeah,
What
he
he
was
played
Blackburn.
for at the time?
Oh,
They put him up
Um,
top this
he-
season.
He was a beast, mate. He was a beast. That's all I can remember of him, just being
Yeah, they,
a fucking monster.
The weirdest of this season, he played like 5 games up front at the end of the season. So I think was Allardyce their manager this year. He just chucked. I remember him putting Chris Samba up top.
Really?
Yeah, he just chucked him up top.
top.
I think Santa Cruz got injured, and they're like, "Oh, who can we put up top for the last few games?"
We'll just
And
put
they
the
chucked
shit
Samba
out.
up there.
That's
Couldn't
mental,
do
to
that
be
now,
fair.
though. That's why you go 7 or 8.
Yeah, you
like,
couldn't do
the
that
normal
now.
team's football is so spectacular. If a team lined up with a centre back up top nowadays, it'd be fuming. And I think like
See, that's
two
sick.
seasons-
That's a good stat to add in.
before- 2 seasons before this, Stuart Pearce was a City manager, and he brought David James on up top.
I
Yeah,
remember that.
I remember that.
I remember him coming out. outfield,
None of
yeah.
this sort of stuff could happen. In
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, like
It changed.
it's the stats based like decision making in modern football just doesn't
Yeah.
allow for the sort of creativity
Yeah.
that those managers,
Stupidity,
especially
bro.
like the old school managers, were just like Christopher Samba, just get up top, mate.
Come on, lad.
Get on the end
Fucking
of the
come on.
thing. That-
Get up top.
There's no way Nuno Espirito Santo or fucking Pep Guardiola is going, fucking,
Yeah.
I don't know, Edison get up top or whatever, you know. It's never happening, or you know, that's that has been lost from the game. I think that's
Yeah.
what made that season sort of magical.
It was
Or
magical,
at least
yeah,
that era of
exactly.
football so magical.
Yeah. Right back, I went Glenn Johnson. That was just before he went to
I just don't know
Liverpool.
if I
I'm
can
pretty
think
sure.
of Glenn Johnson. That's one
Yeah.
thing.
I'm interested to think who you put other than Glenn Johnson outside of the big 6. That's going to be an interesting choice.
It's
I
humiliating.
feel like Glenn Johnson actually, this was his peak season. Because after this, he signed to Liverpool, and then he was
Liverpool, yeah.
just average. It was kind of like
Yeah, he was
Luke
average.
Shaw until this season before he signed for Man United. Like had that great season at Southampton, sort of thing. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where it gets a bit more interesting because I guess the lower outside of the big 6 teams are actually they could attack but they can really defend. So left mid Ashley Young that season, fucking hell, what a would score some outrageous goals. When he would like cut in or like do some step overs, cut in. He was like Ronaldo or like a little Ronaldo. Everyone was like, "Geez, this guy's good. Future of England." So he easy got in my team. Centre mid, defensive mid. I went Ryakoka. He was a beast, mate. I remember him play. I can. Yeah, memorable player. That's mostly what I'm going off as
Like
like
nostalgia.
nostalgia and memorable.
Yeah.
Was he
He wasn't very good.
Nigel Ryakoka? Maybe I'm just thinking off memory, but
He was pretty
a good
bog
name.
standard.
He had a good name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
cool
Well,
name.
I've gone for an interesting formation. Right mid, I've gone Agbonglahor. Whippy guy. Might not have been too good, but he was a memorable player, pacey, and Aston Villa had a pretty decent season. So him and Young were like so sick together. So I thought
He was sick.
Whippy
He was
little
sick.
left mid and right mids. At like attacking mid, where did you put him, Shane? But I put Bentley at attacking mid.
Yeah, I
was,
got it completely wrong. I put him left mid, and I was struck down because he was definitely a right mid. But I feel like
Was
I
he a right
remembered
mid?
him playing on the left. But maybe that was just Spurs, and I was a bit more, I don't know, older and remembered him on the left. But
All I could remember him just being a midfielder who just fucking whipped balls in. So he currently goes in my attacking mid. I suppose I could switch round all my attacking mids or whatever, but yeah, he goes there. And then for my front two, unsurprisingly, I went for Santa Cruz because we all know how good he was, and Yakubu.
yeah, Yakubu, man,
The
fucking
big yak.
what a beast, mate.
Yeah.
No, the most
Monster,
annoying
mate.
thing about Yakubu is he retired from football 4 goals off being in the Premier League 100 club.
Oh, really?
I want there to be
Where
a Sky
did
Sports
he
100.
retire?
Well, he didn't retire in England, but when he left his last Premier League club, he left on 100.
Oh, really?
96 Premier League goals. Yeah.
Who did he leave
By
with?
the way,
From?
I think Blackburn or Everton. No, it was Blackburn. I think Blackburn was his last Premier club.
I for honourable mentions, another player who I just have like nostalgia facts for was Kenwyne Jones.
I love Kenwyne
I
Jones.
just fucking thought he was a big shithouse, and I loved seeing him play. So I always rooted for him. So he's on my bench.
Remember at Stoke when someone put a pig's head in his locker? I think it's Charlie Adam, and he went absolutely fucking mental. He like, smashed up the
God.
cars in the car park. Charlie Adam put a fucking pig's head in his locker.
Jesus, that is very.
I think I remember
extreme.
hearing that story, but like, why? How did that even like happen? Like, why?
Apparently,
would he do
Pranks
that?
got. I think Crouch was telling the story. Apparently, Pranks just got obscenely out of hand in like the Pulis days of Stoke. And yeah, so he went absolutely fucking skit when he did something to someone else, and they came back at him by putting a pig's head in his locker.
Yeah, that winds me up. Not winds me up. Winds my team up. To be honest, like I'm sure there's loads of other people, but I just really, as much as there was like some sick players in there, you begin to forget like without the big six, like there were some pretty average players. There were some special moments, but some average players.
In goal, I've got the big bald man with Tourette's, Tim Howard.
Howard, wow,
Yeah,
nice.
he's a big goalie.
Nice.
Likes
Good
to
shout.
swear. Great goal.
What the fuck, dude? Get the fucking ball out, Julian!
No, you used to have to move TV cameras. You know they got like the boom mics behind the goals.
Yeah.
Couldn't have them behind the goals with it.
Oh, really?
Is this actually true? Like, I
He
always
might have
heard he had
Tourette's, yeah.
Tourette's.
I don't think. I think
Does
he's
he
like,
actually?
he's worked on it, but yeah, apparently
Really?
they couldn't record him during games because he get too sweary. If I remember correctly, and also fucked up. He fumbled an Eco Cranshaw shot. Love to see it. It was a big season for goalies who are English.
Yeah, big season.
It was. It was.
All right, left back gone for Leighton Baines. He was young, but you know, still had the quality. I think he scored a couple of free kicks this season. He wasn't quite the best, like he wasn't as best yet, but he gets it for me because I like him.
Nice.
Centre backs got Phil Jagielka in his Everton days, was an absolute mammoth in defence.
Yaggy Yonk Yonks.
Yeah. Ryan Nelson I put next to him, the Blackburn New Zealander. What a player! What a player, Ryan Nelson. He was a leader. How
Yeah,
do you not
it's-
like Ryan Nelson?
I don't
you know
even
what, mate?
remember him.
I do not even remember him. Do not even slightly remember him.
Played for QPR in like 13-14 when he was well past it and couldn't run anymore. But he was really good in his heyday. Loved him.
Maybe that's why you remember
you-
him, because he played for
Yeah,
QPR.
exactly. You did.
Nah, I
You
just
did the
love-
classic. You did the classic, like, oh, we just signed this player. Let me look up some YouTube compilations, and they were like the single 8 tackles he made for Blackburn in the 2007-2008 season.
He was their captain. He played every week.
Fair.
He
fair.
captained them to like 8.
Yeah,
deserves
that's
a bit
not.
of credit. He
Yeah,
deserves a
fair
bit of
enough,
credit.
yeah.
Deserves a bit of
All
credit.
down to him. All down to him. And not
I've got some
Rocket.
more from that team. Right back, I've got the legend is Tony Hibbert because I forgot about Glenn Johnson.
Tony Hibbert
Oh,
does not
God.
sound. I know Tony Hibbert existed. He sounds like a player who was playing in the 80s.
I
Tony
know, he
Hibbert.
looks like a player
Hibbert.
that was playing in the 80s and then continued to play all the way through to the noughties.
Yeah, he was that shit in 0708.
Have you ever
Nah.
seen Tony Hibbert's free kick goal from the testimonial? He scored a
No,
free kick in his testimonial at Everton, never scored a goal for them, and there was like a massive pitch invasion.
Fair.
Because Tony
I'll try and get that up. I'll try and get that up because
Yeah.
that sounds
You'll be able to,
hilarious.
it's on a phone, so that video's
Oh,
going to have
fair,
no
nice.
royalties.
Nice.
Right, holding mid, Gareth Barry.
Yeah, it's solid choice. I did think about him there. I did think about him just now.
Right midfield, he's on the wrong wing, but I'm putting Ashley Young there because the guy at left mid needs to be at left mid.
All right.
At left midfield, I've gone for my favourite player of the decade, Morten Gamst Pedersen. What a man.
Pedersen. I remember the name, don't know the player.
On the playground,
Nah, he
I
was
always-
quality. He was fully quality.
He
I was
scored like-
literally just looking at that Tony Hibbert goal, but
Uh,
he was quality. Morten Gamst Pedersen was a baller, a straight up
scored like-
baller, man.
6 bangers a season. He just had an absolutely obscene left foot on it. You give it, he just
Yeah.
blasted him in. If I was in the playground and I was like trying to score a banger, I'd always scream Pedersen or Gerard, but it's mainly Pedersen because it's good fun. I loved him.
Yeah, no.
All right,
He's
attacking mid.
just another one of those players from the era that just had bangers in the locker.
Like Matty
just had
Taylor.
bangers.
Matty Taylor
Yeah,
did nothing
Matty-
but score from like 35 yards. Glenn Johnson was also banging him in for about 35 yards like all the time. I don't know if keepers have gotten worse and the ball just moves a bit like more crazy nowadays. Players could just bang him in back then.
The old
True,
Jubilano.
man.
Yeah. All right, Cam, attacking mid. I've got Tim Cahill. Big
Nice.
Australian,
Solid.
fucking legend.
Solid.
Love that guy. Love that
Yeah.
guy. He's such a bully. Up front, I've got the same front two as Jack actually. Rocky
Nice.
Santa Cruz, Yakubu. Then my striker sub Benjani.
Oh, Benjani. I considered putting Benjani in. He's a
16 league
beast, man.
goals that season from the big man.
Baller.
Yeah, he's
Baller.
sick. He did bits.
he's quality.
He pulled Portsmouth. Was it Portsmouth to the FA Cup final that season?
Yeah, he didn't want to leave. City put in something like £25 million bid for him, which Redknapp said was like obscene and he shouldn't go for that much. But he was like, I'm going to accept it because it's massive. And then Benjani was like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave, Captain. He's like, nah, they paid 20 mil. You're fucking going.
Yeah, imagine 25 mil. To be fair, Benjani probably would make it into most teams in nowadays.
Scored 16 league goals this year. How much do you reckon he'll go next season? In this day and age, like a 27-year-old striker.
Who is that now? 16 goals. That's like like Son or Son's got more than that.
For a smaller team, but like
Charlie
Raul
Austin?
Jimenez, if Raul Jimenez didn't fracture a skull and carried on playing for
Yeah,
Jimenez
Jimenez.
and knocked in
It's like-
16 goals, how much do you reckon he'd go for? 45 mil?
40,
50 mil?
40, 50 mil, yeah.
Yeah,
Literally.
Sure. Yeah, Benjani.
It does
was
make
doing
sense, to be fair.
that. Yeah.
Benjani. Well, I mean, I feel like we've gone off on a massive tangent there, but solid choices all around, to be honest. It's a magical season, quite clearly. I
Especially
think,
Coke
like,
Hibbert.
especially here, but I'm pretty sure that is one of the most special seasons we have. Maybe next time we try and spread the memo so Shane knows, so it's like we can then compare all three teams at the end. Because oh my god, Leicester 1-2-1, mental.